Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. I got a dope video for y'all. It's a beat breakdown of my most popular beat. It's leaning towards the Drake or Meek Mill type sound or type beat, but it definitely can hear a bunch of different artists on it, and the beat goes hard. So I wanted to give you an exclusive and take you behind the scenes on basically the sounds that I chose, what I use, and hopefully a few pointers in there that'll help you out. If you haven't, excuse me, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats, or Instagram as well at Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So let me just break down some of the elements. This beat, it just goes hard, man. I'm really excited to show you this. It came out really well. So let me just hit play and let you feel it. Intro right here. God, that beat is crazy. So let me break it down for you. I started out with this sound. It's really straightforward, just a simple melody. Here it is by itself. I think I soloed it. Yeah. So with this simple melody, this is like the foundation of the beat, and this is actually one of my most popular beats right now that's being played and bought currently, and just wanted to share the behind the scenes of how I came about making it. Notice this simple melody just going up and down, and there's a little change up at the end. Having a little change up at the end is always really cool because it leaves the listener with like a surprise at the end. So you don't want to just kind of repeating over and over the same way all the time. Just throw like one little note, there you go. It's really simple, really straightforward, or like a different chord at the end or whatever, at the end every 4 bars or 8 bars or whatever. So changing things up like this definitely leaves a nice surprise to the listener, and it takes your beats to another level. So with that, I think the second pattern after that. So all I did there was take the, my bad, I'm actually recovering from a cold, but, so if my voice goes out, I'm a ride or die, you know what I'm saying? So definitely want to get this video to you. But, notice the second part of the melody, I raised it up an octave. So having notation go up higher just increases that energy. So remember that, because it's like you're anticipating something and you're emotionally connected to it, and something's about to happen. So I had the lower octave and a higher octave and that little change up at the end of the 4 bars. You can apply that type of stuff to your beats as well. So after that, I think I introduced I think it's a hi-hat. No, I went straight into the drums. Drums, and I'm shocked I chose to put multiple sounds on one pattern. I must have been in the zone just rushing. Yeah, see, I did a whole drum program, a pattern with the kick and the snare, the clap, it's like a clap snare, all on one pattern. I rarely do that, but it must have been in the zone or trying to hurry up and finish a project, or just inspired, all of the above maybe. So the next thing I introduced is straight drums. I started with that simple melody and went straight into the drums. So check it out. So with that second, with the drums, notice I had two different kicks, and that clap. And of course, they sound nice and crisp because every drum sound, every sound I put into a beat, I make sure I EQ it to perfection. And of course, perfection is subjective, so it's based on what you like for your music. So I think I totally messed that up. No. All right, so with the drums, I actually have two different kicks. If we choose pattern 3, and notice two different kicks. Got the hard, straightforward, short kick, slightly distorted, and then this layered reverb kick that is kind of futuristic. You can layer your kicks in your beats because it just makes a more distinct sound and makes your music stand out more. And of course, this crazy clap. Real crisp and clean. It's angry and it's aggressive, and that's what I wanted with this beat. And of course, I forgot to mention with track 1, the plucks that you heard. Check it out. I used halftime on it and brought it down to 65%, 1 bar, and I left this sustain at 34 microseconds or whatever. And then I EQ'd it, cut out some lows because I didn't want the low frequencies in that sound. And I actually use a plugin called the reverser to give it that reversing sound. With 4, when you hover over it, 416, sync it, bring down the mix a little bit. That's on some processing stuff to kind of make that sound more unique, because without it, this is what it sounds like. Real straightforward, kind of amateur-ish. I mean, it's not that bad, but when you add this, all this stuff to it, you got it going on. So, there's, when you're doing like sound processing, like effects and all that, take it one thing at a time. Don't try to just throw a bunch of stuff on there and not know what you're doing. Like, study this stuff because it's important. And especially if you want longevity in music, you want to learn your programs that you bought. So, and there's still stuff I'm learning, it's a lifelong process. You never stop learning to become a master. That's one thing a master knows. So let me not get too deep in the video. So after the drums, with the drums, I of course did some EQing. I did use Sound Goodizer, which is a compression plugin on that first short kick to give it that extra punch, and also did some drum group routing to sausage fattener. So I took all my drum sounds and routed it to that drum group. You can do that as well to give it some extra cohesiveness, some extra compression, and kind of just make it hit harder. That's one of my little strategies, techniques I use to make my drums just more aggressive. Because you notice this beat is just crazy. Maybe that's why it's one of the popular beats, because of the drums and the sound selection that I chose. Or it could have just been the artwork. You never know. But I know that people are buying this and they're liking this beat. So, let's see. Next I added was a cool loop of this dope hi-hat pattern. And don't be afraid to use loops, because you can put it in the background, you can change it up, you can slice it up and do different things. It's there to be creative. I don't think it's I think it's a hi-hat. Let's see what it is. No, it's actually like what do you call it? It's like a like some type of short lead. It's like a soft pad, so it adds in the creepiness, and it really complements the first pattern. And you got to keep that in mind too, you know, like don't just throw a bunch of sounds together and think they all work together. Like that complements the first melody, and that's very important when you're making music. You want to pick sounds and patterns and melodies that complement each other. Listen to these together. You hear that? So I found a loop that went with the initial melody that I chose, and I think I changed the pitch of this loop. But they dance together. They're in a union. They work together. So I can just make a whole nother beat just with those two. So here it is with the drums. All right, so we already cooking grease. Next is the I think I hit it with a hi-hat right here. And it's actually a hit, which is like an orchestral hit. Like use it mainly on downbeats or the first beat of 8 bars or 4 bars or whatever, just to give it that extra punch. This hit, actually, I added just a little bit of reverb, actually a lot of reverb, just to give it that presence. And I didn't use EQ. Looks like I started to use it, but I didn't. So check it out. And with your hits, you want to make sure you actually put it on the right note. To do that, you want to right click, edit audio, go to this little flag here and detect pitch regions. And that's A#1, I believe. Usually the longest note that it holds. So let's see if I actually did that right when I was making this beat. Go to your wrench tool. Yep, see that? And right click on the note that it is. Root note A#1. So that way you know what note that hit is, and you can make it in tune with the scale that you're using for your beat. And that's the same way that you use for tuning 808s in FL Studio. So that's a nice little trick there if you didn't know that. So next I added this crazy hi-hat. I really love how it sounds, so check it out. So putting that loop hi-hat in there definitely helped. You know, it filled it up crazy, added an awesome melody to it. Notice I used a slice tool and kind of sliced it up and just made what I wanted out of it. I made a whole different pattern. Nothing too crazy. Well, it is crazy, but the pattern already was crazy, but I just kind of wanted to make it my own and just put it in the background and just have it singing in the background. So it came out really dope. Next was, I think let's hear. It's a hi-hat roll on the end of the beat. So I got 2 different hi-hats going on, but these are like accent hi-hat rolls. So check it out. And also what I did with that hi-hat roll, notice you can pan down here. There's other ways to do it, but you can change it. I have it panning right and then left. So it changes every time. Just these little elements that you add in your beats take it to another level. And then I think I had something to sustain it more. So I'm not sure what that was. What's pattern 6? We'll check it out. Of course, the 808. And with the 808, did I do anything to it? just sidechained it and did some EQ, cut some of the highs. Didn't do any distortion. I really like how the 808 sounded by itself. What I did do, though, I'm sure I did, was in the wrench tool, turn on quarter and mono, and turn up the slide, so that way it slides like this. So you get the idea. So that way it slides from one note to the next. So, and lastly, I think this is just like another melody over top. Actually had another element I added in the second part of the verse. What I thought about that last melody, I was like, yo, the beat sounds so full already, but I wanted something to take it over just a little higher. So what I thought was, why not a vocal pad or vocal synth? So I just added that at the end. I'm not sure what this is. Let's check it out. It's a chant. So in this beat, I added a chant to kind of build energy in the second part of the verse. And notice as it progresses, you know, there's parts taken out and then you add other parts in just to keep that movement going and some change ups. Speaking of the change ups, I think I changed up the 808 just a little bit somewhere. Here we go. I think it's pattern 7. So check out what I did in the second verse. Second verse, I changed up a few things. The transition into the chorus. Looks like I took out, oh no, I did a fade out. So here it is, a little change up here in pattern 7 with the 808. See, stuff like that, if you don't get excited when you make music, I don't know. You definitely want to be excited, because if you don't put that energy into it, you don't get that feeling out of what you made, then the artist won't. Then the people that listen to it won't. Like, the artist got to be excited as you are, or even more, to record their verses, to inspire them, to inspire others that love it. So I got excited when I did that. I was going ham on this beat. And before the chorus comes in, I did another change up right here. Once again, just little things like that, you know, separate you from an average producer up to like a higher end professional producer. You know, just little things like that. I did a quick tape stop. Did you hear the tape stop before? No, I just did a drop. Did you hear this one pattern in the whole beat? The 808 changes up in the second verse. See, like little things like that. Did you hear that I pan one hi-hat rolled left and right, added with another hi-hat loop, chopped it up, changed it differently, and then had it a chant on the second part of the verse, but I took out other elements, like little stuff like that you keep in mind when you're working on music. You know, you take it to the next level. You know, it's not just having the same pattern play the entire beat or having notes clash. Like, every little thing you got to pay attention to and make sure it complements every sound that you started with. You know, you start with something simple, you know, you vibing, whatever. You start with, you know, and then you add to that. If it's whack, just keep tweaking it until it's on point. Just don't, I mean, it's good not to add trash on top of trash, and you're going to end up with trash. You know, you want to stay focused on how you're feeling about it. You know, if you need to step away, chill, you know, save it and come back. Sometimes when you come back and work on a beat, you come back even harder. So I actually made a video a little longer than I thought. I definitely wanted to give you value and break down this beat that actually came out really well, that I slept on, because, you know, when you're making music, so much music, you don't know like how people respond to it, or you might sleep on your own hit and you're just still moving on making more music. So I'm definitely blessed to have people enjoy it. I'm definitely blessed to be able to share what I did, and hopefully I inspired you to make some awesome music right now. So anyway, again, if you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats, or Instagram as well at Sounds for Producers. And again, it's DJ Fanatic, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. I'll catch you next time. Peace.